number one scoring offense against the number one scoring defense so far?
Well, the two teams that we start off with, both are teams that score over 80 points a game. And they do it in different ways. They both shoot it really well, but they attack you in a little different ways. Oklahoma, I think right now is scoring 87 points a game. They scored at a 46% clip. They get to the offensive board. So what's really impressive is not only do they shoot it really well and score it really efficiently, but they also hit the offensive glass at a very high level. Because of that and because of the way they attack, they also get to the free throw line 21 times a game. And what's really something that is really different and unique about them is, we know that they like to push it and they like to score quickly. They like to score in the first 10 to 15 seconds of the shot clock, but they're in transition over 30% of the game, 33% of the game, which in the years that I've coached, I don't ever remember seeing a number that high. Typically when teams are in transition 20 to 25% of the game, that's a really high number. To be in the 30s is a really, really high number. It's something that I just have never seen before.
So I guess you got to give and take when you do that, and they do give up points.
Well, they do because the tempo, the pace of the game is so fast.
Right.
But their field goal percentage defensively for Oklahoma is, I think, 38, and I think for Iowa State it's 36, if I remember correctly. So both teams actually defend at a really high level, even though they are giving up more points because they're scoring more points.
Right. Shot blockers too, I guess. 2 shot blockers.
Yeah, we have some pretty big kids that we're going against, right? And certainly, I think the way that Oklahoma defends, they can mix their looks up on you, but they can be really physical inside. They're not as big per se, but they're really physical inside with you. And certainly the Suarez kid is something that, from an Iowa State standpoint, a 6'6", is something that's very unique as well.
Is there a way to limit their transition? I mean, do you alter the way you play it all? I imagine you still want to do what you do, but when you talk about that 33%,
right,
do you try to minimize it?
Well, a lot of times when you try to minimize teams in transition, you say, well, let's go score. Because if you score, then it takes them longer to get the ball out and go. What Oklahoma does a really good job of, and they've done this for years, right? I remember when I was at Michigan and we played against Oklahoma, they were a team that had a transition break that was so fast, whether it was after a make or whether it was after free throw scenarios. And that's just continued with Jenny. And I think Jenny's always done that as well in her coaching career. But Oklahoma is a team that pushes it really fast after you score as well. So we call it our conversion defense. It's our transition defense. We have to be really, really solid, and we've got to be really good at not only converting after we shoot it, and either make it or miss it, but also we've got to be really good at converting out of a man offense, out of a zone offense. So those are a lot of different looks that you have to be really good at. So that's what we've been doing since we've been back from Christmas. We've been getting up and down the court and working on that because that's really important. But do we change how we play? Not necessarily, because we're really good in transition from an offensive standpoint and attacking as well. And so we've got to be who we are, and we've got to continue to attack. At the same time, we also have to be smart about taking good shots, high, efficient, effective shots at the same time.
I noticed, with the exception of their point guard, they've got a lot of players in that 6-foot range.
Right.
So is that a challenge in terms of matchups?
Well, it's a challenge in a lot of ways because I think the biggest one is that they have the size to rebound at a very high level. So, and we know that Oklahoma rebounds really well. But at the same time, they deflect a lot of things. On the defensive end, in a man in a zone, they get their hands on an awful lot. They make life difficult. But they also have an ability to kind of score over the top of you in a lot of ways, whether that's shoot it because they've got some size. You got to get there on the catch because they can all shoot it from the arc. Right. But at the same time, you better be in balance because they're a team that back cuts at a very, very high level. And so if you're going just to do one thing, they're really hard to play against because if you get out of balance, you relax for a split second. They're finding a way to get a score opportunity around the rim or a wide open three.
Yeah.
Give and take.
What did you like about what you saw from your team down in West Palm?
I thought we did a really good job of competing when we were down in Florida. Certainly the Georgia game was a game where I thought we played hard, and I thought we finished plays at a very, very high level in that game. And that's something that we've seen in other games during stretches, and that was a game that we saw it for longer stretches of the game, and that was really good. We found a way to come back. And defensively we were very, very solid. I thought offensively we attacked really early in the game and did a really good job against some of their press kind of looks and got to the rim. And then defensively became very, very solid as the game wore on. I think in the second and third quarter, I think we gave up 3 points maybe, and overall in the second half, maybe 11 overall. And that's not really that typical, obviously, to be able to do that, but I thought our kids competed at a really high level. Miami game, I thought we started the game and we finished the game really well. We started well. I think JJ had 10 points in the first quarter. We did a good job defensively in terms of Miami didn't hit a field goal in the first quarter of the game. And in the fourth quarter, we did a good job. The second and third quarters, we didn't have the same discipline defensively that we needed to have. Good news is everybody got home for Christmas and everybody was able to make it back for Christmas. And those are some pretty big challenges after that tournament.
Delays, huh? No issues
Oh, there
there?
were some issues, but everybody's back, so that's a good thing.
Everybody's back for
Right.
practice. That's good.
Was there any, I guess, extra significance or takeaway from Georgia with it being the first victory over like a Power 5 opponent? Or, I mean, the fact that you did it in the manner that you had to, coming back from a double-digit second-half deficit?
Well, I think that there are plenty of learning opportunities in every game that you're in, and that was one where we played with a discipline that was at a very, very high level. We played with a resilience because we were down and had to find a way to come back, and then we're in some late game situations that we haven't been in yet, and so that was something that we certainly can grow and learn from and take some good things away and take some other pieces away that we've got to get better at. So I just think our ability, our energy going into that game, our ability to finish plays was at a really high level, and now that needs to carry over.
I see this stat here. I don't know what you make of it. You have the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the country. What do you make of that?
Well, we'd have more assists if we were scoring it a little bit more efficiently, but I think that our ability right now to kind of limit some things for other teams has helped with that. Our ability to take care of the ball. I think we've done a really good job of taking care of the basketball for the most part. And I think certainly there were some stretches in the Georgia game that we did not do that. But we're getting better. I think we are improving at this point in time. And so where we have to be really good is we've got to find a way to give ourselves opportunities on the offensive end because of how we defend at this point in time. I think our half-court offense is improving. We're seeing a lot of zones right now because we're not making as many arc shots as we'd like to make, but we've got kids who can make arc shots, and it's just a matter of time before we start making those with the confidence that we need to, but at the same time, we need to keep working on getting really good shots.